वेलकम फ्रेंड्स, बहुत स्वागत है आपका हमारे इस चैनल में। आज हमारे साथ है दिव्याश्री पांडा, जो कि आईआईएसटी शिवपुर से सिविल इंजीनियरिंग कर रही हैं और रिसेंटली ने जो है वो कैंपस प्लेसमेंट में जॉब और ऑफर हुई है। इन्हें 2 ऑफ़र मिली है। फर्स्ट ऑफ़र है जीकेडब्ल्यू कंसल्टेंट से एंड सेकंड ऑफ़र है टाटा कंसल्टिंग इंजीनियर से। तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल कॉन्ग्रेचुलेसन्स मैम। एंड मैं आपसे रिक्वेस्ट करूँगा कि हमारे व्यूअर्स को अपना एक स्मॉल इंट्रोडक्शन दे दें।
Hello everyone, my name is Dibyashree Panda and I am currently a final year student at the Department of Civil Engineering in IIST Shibpur. And since I'm in my final year, I have recently been placed at GKW Consult, which is an environmental engineering consultancy firm. And I have also received an offer from Tata Consulting Engineers for the role of an engineer trainee.
ओके मैम, अगर सिविल इंजीनियरिंग की अगर बात करें तो अगर मैं जोसा काउंसलिंग की भी अगर देखते हैं तो या फिर एडमिशन की मींस मैक्सिमम स्टूडेंट का जो इंटेंशन होता है वो मोर इंक्लाइन टुवर्ड आईटी सेक्टर है एज़ कंपेयर टू सिविल। तो यहाँ पर जॉब की अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ थोड़ी कम है। तो मैं आपसे रिक्वेस्ट करूँगा कि आपने सिविल में 3 से 4 साल पढ़ाई की है, तो सिविल की सिलेबस कैसी रहती है, प्लेसमेंट का सीन कैसा है, और इसके बारे में कुछ बता दें। और कोर की जो ब्रांचेस होती हैं जैसे सिविल, मैकेनिकल, एक इलेक्ट्रिकल एंड आईटी सेक्टर में जैसे आईटी सीएस, इसके बारे में जो मेन डिफरेंस है और प्लेसमेंट का भी जो सीन रहता है, इस बारे में थोड़ा डिस्कस कर दें।
If we look at the current trend, then yes, a lot of the students are more inclined towards going from the circuital branches rather than going for the core branches of engineering. But since IIST Shibpur is an NIT, here even for the core branches, we can find that a lot of students have gotten good placement. And regarding the placement scenario, yes, in 2024, the placement percentage has not been as good as the 2023 or the 2022 batch, but still, a lot of the students are working very hard and they have also gotten placed. So, yeah, it's uh, like it's not like the core branches do not have any placement at all, but the scenario has been a bit tough for this year.
ओके मैम, तो अब जो है वो मेन सेगमेंट की ओर आते हैं इंटरव्यू के, जो कि है प्लेसमेंट की प्रिपरेशन कैसे करें। क्योंकि अगर बात करें गेट की या गवर्नमेंट जॉब की तो शायद उतना तो डिफ़िकल्ट नहीं होता है, लेकिन प्लेसमेंट की प्रोसीजर की अगर बात करें तो आप जो है जैसे कि आपने टाटा कंसल्टिंग इंजीनियर्स में भी हुआ है और जीकेडब्ल्यू में, दोनों में भी कंपनीज़ के लिए जो सिलेक्शन प्रोसीजर है क्या था, मींस डिफरेंट स्टेजेस एंड अदर। आपने उससे पहले जो बहुत अच्छी पीडब्ल्यूसी में भी इंटर्नशिप किया है, तो जो सिलेक्शन प्रोसीजर होता है उसके बारे में आप एक्सप्लेन करते हैं।
So, let me start with the preparation for the internships. Okay. So, actually, in our college, PwC or PricewaterhouseCoopers, it is a big four firm, and it comes for recruiting interns and associates from our college every year. So, when I was in third year, in the fifth semester, PwC had visited our college for recruiting interns, and they have certain eligibility criteria, like you need to have a 7.5 CGPA in college, and there should be I think not more than 2 year of break between passing out from the 12th standard to college, things like that. And after that, the first round for PwC India was the aptitude test, which is the online assessment. So for that preparation, it consists of three sections. The first section is the verbal ability and reading comprehension section. The second is the logical reasoning and data interpretation. And the third section is the quantitative ability. Now, for preparing for these three sections, the book which I followed was Arun Sharma. and it has like a very comprehensive set of questions and explanations for those questions as well. And if someone is preparing for, say, like B school examinations such as CAT, then also it is very helpful for them. So that was like my preparation strategy for the first round of PwC. And after that, the shortlist was declared for the aptitude test, and I was selected. And the second round was the technical interview round. So in the technical interview, they like the questions are not very hard, but what the interview tries is to extract what is the thinking process of the student. Are they able to solve logical reasoning questions? Do they have a good thinking capacity, etc.? So for that, like I did not prepare very well for the technical interview round because the shortlist was declared just like 24 hours before the technical interview round. So after that, I also cleared the technical interview round, and after that is the partner interview round, where a partner of the firm takes the interview basically, and they ask a lot of questions from your resume as well as from all the projects and academic subjects and academic challenges that you have faced up till that point. So, like from these two interviews, I found the partner interview to be much more thorough, and they also, the partner asked a lot of questions which are sort of like stumping questions. Like it is meant to be a tough question, and they are basically testing like how you would face like unpredictable situations. And so after those two rounds, the final list was declared after like 1 or 2 days, and I got selected for the internship at PwC.
Okay, ma'am. So I hope that this information will be very much helpful for the freshers who don't know the exactly procedure. Now अब जो है वो बात करते हैं कि प्रिपरेशन स्ट्रैटेजी की, क्योंकि एप्टीट्यूड और टेक्निकल जो कि मेनली जो है ऑनलाइन हुई होती है, तो हाउ टू प्रिपेयर फॉर दैट, कि क्या पूरा सिलेबस पढ़ना चाहिए या बहुत कंसाइज होकर पढ़ना चाहिए, आपने कैसे तैयारी की थी, और एप्टीट्यूड की भी वेटेज रहती है, तो इसके बारे में एलेबोरेट कर दें, एक्सप्लेन कर दें। और एप्टीट्यूड प्लस टेक्निकल की जो टेस्ट होती है ओए, उसके बारे में ताकि व्यूअर्स को बहुत हेल्प मिल जाए।
Okay, so for preparing the aptitude questions, you basically need to practice a lot, and for practicing, the best way is to solve from uh, a standard aptitude book. Like I said, like Arun Sharma is very good, and then R.S. Agarwal is also a very good source to practice for. And if you have to like particularly ask for like, I think a lot of engineering students like struggle with verbal ability and reading comprehension. Um, for that, I think the GMAT Manhattan book, it is available freely on the internet. Okay, so that book is very helpful, particularly for like verbal ability and reading comprehension. So that is very useful. And apart from that, I think for logical reasoning and quantitative, Arun Sharma is probably it will cover for like, all the questions mostly, like all the types of questions that can be asked. And then coming to the technical test for the core engineering companies Tata Consulting Engineers and GKW Consult. For these, like for Tata Consultancy Engineers, there was an aptitude test as the first round. And for that, there was an aptitude section where all these three, like verbal, quants, and logical reasoning was asked. And then there was a core section. So in the core section, basically they will ask from like all the subjects that we have read from the first year till your fourth year. And it has questions from like steel structure, uh, RCC design, then water resources engineering, environmental engineering, everything. So for those core questions, it is best to solve questions from the previous year GATE papers. So basically, like those, like I practiced from like Arun Sharma for the quant's logical reasoning, and I saw basically solved GATE papers for doing well with the core engineering questions. So those helped me a lot. And then after that, for the interview round, I think the best possible advice is to speak with confidence. And even if like you don't know the answer of some questions, it is very advisable to like at least try to answer the question. Like you have read about that at some point in your college. So just like try to answer that question, and also try to explain your thinking process when you're answering that questions instead of just like one word answers, because then the interviewer sort of understands that you have actually gone through the subject, and uh, that is like a very helpful strategy for like getting selected in the shortlist.
ओके मैम, तो आई होप कि जो फर्स्ट राउंड होती है आफ्टर स्क्रीनिंग वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होता है, एंड अदरवाइज़ जो इंटरव्यू और जो अदर स्टेजेस हैं उनमें स्टूडेंट नहीं जा सकते। तो अब जो है वो नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन आता है कि अगर जैसे कि टीसी के लिए तो वैलिड होती है, या फिर एलएनटी, या फिर जो भी कोर कंपनीज आती हैं सिविल में, या उन सभी में कोर के लिए तो आपने बता दिया कि प्रीवियस ईयर गेट से प्रिपरेशन करने के लिए उन क्वेश्चंस की। और आई वुड लाइक टू ऐड कि आप चाहे तो मींस एसएससी जेई इन सभी की भी पीवाईक्यू भी लगा सकते हैं। ओके, तो अब जो नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन आता है आपसे मैं पूछना चाहूँगा कि अगर किसी कंपनी में ग्रुप डिस्कशन होती है, तो जैसे जीकेडब्ल्यू में जैसे ग्रुप डिस्कशन थी, तो ग्रुप डिस्कशन में जो है कैसे टैकल करना है ताकि जो सिलेक्शन की परसेंटेज है बढ़े, और आपने क्या किया था और जो टिप्स है वो प्रोवाइड करते हैं।
So for group discussion, the general procedure that is followed is that the interview panel or the HR panel, they basically tell you a topic on which the group discussion is to be done. And they after that they give like 5 or 7 minutes for you to like think what you are going to talk about and jot down the pros and cons of that topic. So I think it's very important for like utilize those 5 minutes very well, and sort of like plan about what points you are going to bring up in the conversation. So for example, for uh, the group discussion that like the panel in which I was in for the group discussion at GKW, the topic was privatization of railways is a good thing for India or not. So like and likewise for like there were around 5 panels for GKW. So what is important is that uh, it is important to have a social and cultural awareness about general topics, and also you have to know about current affairs sort of like they don't ask about like very specific knowledge, but like general awareness is required. And so that is one thing. And the second thing is that while talking during the group discussion, you should never interrupt someone or talk over someone. Like that really like disrupts the decorum of the conversation, and it is considered a red flag by the HR panel also. So yeah, like if you like keep in mind these few points, I think it will be very helpful for the candidates to go through the group discussion round.
ओके मैम, सो आफ्टर ग्रुप डिस्कशन अगर टाटा कंसल्टिंग इंजीनियर्स की बात करें तो उसमें टेक्निकल राउंड है। मैक्सिमम जो कोर ब्रांचेस के लिए जो कंपनीज आती हैं उसमें मैक्सिमम जो है वो कोर का टेक्निकल का सफिशिएंट नॉलेज होना चाहिए, वो रिक्वायर्ड होना चाहिए। तो टेक्निकल राउंड में वो को कैसे अप्रोच करनी चाहिए, और जैसे कोई क्वेश्चन अगर स्टूडेंट को नहीं आता है तो उस समय स्टूडेंट को कैसे डील करना चाहिए, एंड हाउ टू प्रिपेयर फॉर दैट, ताकि एक अच्छा इंप्रेशन बने एंड सिलेक्शन की चांसेस बढ़ सके फॉर टाटा कंसल्टिंग इंजीनियर्स एंड अदर कंपनीज ऑल्सो, क्योंकि मोर और लेस द प्रोसीजर इज सेम।
Okay, so for the technical interview round, at least for Tata Consulting Engineers, like my interviewer started with some basic questions, right? So he asked some questions from steel structures, from design of RCC structures, and then he went on to ask some more conceptual questions. So I think the first thing is like uh, you should like sort of have a notebook where you have like some basic questions from all of the subjects that we have learned in this 4 year span. So that is a helpful thing. And the other thing is that like conceptual questions, right? So some of these are like really like difficult to answer in general. So in that case, like I think like one thing that I find helpful is that start with something you know and then try to ask the interviewer uh, like for conceptual questions, like ask the interviewer like on like what are the specific terms that he's asking about. So when you do that, the interviewer sort of understands that okay, like the student like they might not know the exact answer of the question, but they have like read about it at some point and they like know about it. They may not remember it at that exact moment. So that is a helpful thing. And in general, like sort of like revise your like subjects and topics on a regular basis so that it's sort of like it is the interview will not be that difficult if you have revised all of your like topics and subjects. And for civil engineering, some of the most asked questions come from those steel structures, design of RCC structures, civil construction, etc. And for GKW Consult, since it is an environmental engineering consultancy firm, most of the questions were from environmental engineering itself, and some of the questions were from structural engineering and structural analysis. They might also ask you to draw a shear force diagram or bending moment diagram for a given beam structure, etc. So that is also important.
ओके मैम, आई होप कि जो टेक्निकल राउंड के लिए मैं फर्दर ऐड करना चाहूँगा कि जैसे जो इंटरव्यू होते रहती है, तो आपके जो फ्रेंड्स जिनका पहले इंटरव्यू हो गया है उनसे भी आप क्वेश्चंस पूछ सकते हैं और उसके लिए भी प्रिपेयर कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि कभी कभी क्वेश्चंस रिपीट हो जाती है। तो थैंक यू मैम, आपने बहुत डिटेल में टेक्निकल राउंड को कैसे डील करना है वो समझा दिया। नाउ मूविंग टूवर्ड्स एचआर राउंड, कि एचआर राउंड में इट्स मोर अबाउट पर्सनैलिटी, सो हाउ टू प्रेजेंट योर सेल्फ एंड specifically more about Tata Consulting Engineers, because tell that what is the procedure and how to tackle the questions which were asked for Tata Consulting Engineers and GKW Consults.
So for the data consulting engineers, we did not have an HR interview panelist ask the questions. Instead, there was an HR assessment round in which basically the question was given on the screen and we have to upload a video of us like answering the question. So the question was like pretty like standard question, like give an introduction about yourself or how do you overcome academic challenges or like why would you be a good fit for the role, questions like this. Then they may also ask like tell us about your strengths and weaknesses and sort of questions like that. Like HR interview questions are sort of like very basic. What is important in these interviews is to like articulate yourself well and to speak with confidence. So if you have those two going well, I think it would not be a problem. And they may also ask you about like the projects and internships that you have done, and sort of like how interested you are to pursue this role. So those are also important, and if a student keeps these in mind, I think they would do well in the HR round.
ओके मैम, तो आई होप कि वीडियो असेसमेंट के बारे में स्टूडेंट्स को बहुत अच्छी नॉलेज मिल पाई होगी। और 4 मिनट्स का यूजुअली टाइम रहता है, तो आपको जो है वो बहुत सिंक्रोनाइज्ड वे में चीज़ें रिप्रेजेंट करनी होती है। और एक बात और मैं ऐड करना चाहूँगा कि स्टूडेंट्स की जो इंग्लिश स्पोकन वीक होती है, और इंटरव्यू तो जो है वो इंग्लिश में ही होती है। तो मैम प्लीज़ जो कुछ आप टिप्स आप देना चाहें हमारे व्यूअर्स को, जूनियर्स को, कि हाउ टू इम्प्रूव इंग्लिश विद इन वेरी शॉर्ट स्पैन ऑफ टाइम सो दैट दे कैन कम्युनिकेट इन अ बेटर वे बिफोर इंटरव्यूअर्स।
So, if someone is struggling with speaking in English fluently, I think like you should, practice in front of the mirror. Like, like practice every day, like not for a very long time, but for like 5 or 10 minutes each day. If you practice in front of the mirror, or you like, um, listen to sort of like news readers reading out the news every day, in that way, like. The current affairs knowledge will also improve, and like you will also get into the habit of like listening to and speaking in English every day. So that is good. You can also like sort of be in the habit of reading and speaking English on a daily basis, and in that way I think like it will improve gradually. Like it is not possible to like improve, like have a huge improvement in a short span of time, but if you start sooner, it will get easier eventually. And the second thing is that like even if you do not speak very well in English, still like um, still you should have sort of that confidence. Like a lot of the times, even if the student is not very fluent in English, but still like they can articulate themselves well, and you know uh, that also sets an impression that this person is confident, and uh, this they may not know the language very well, but they speak well nonetheless. I think that can be helpful.
Okay ma'am, so I hope that the following all these tips will make their conversation much more better from their past. तो आपने जो बात करी थी टेक्निकल राउंड में और एचआर राउंड में स्टूडेंट की सीवी या रिज्यूमे से भी क्वेश्चंस पूछे जाते हैं, तो उसका जो भी है बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंस है। तो हाउ टू बिल्ड अ गुड रिज्यूमे, एंड मैं फ़ॉन्ट साइज़ एंड लेटर्स की जो है वो कौन से फ़ॉन्ट की बात नहीं कर रहा, मैं कंटेंट की मीन्स what should be the content that students should put in CV so that a very good resume should be prepared and that can be presented before recruiter or HR or technical interview.
Resume, like I think it is important to have a very neat resume where the content that you are putting is like very clear, like it is not like crowded or something. It is that is important. And personally, I used an website called overleaf.com to build my resume. And for the content, I like first of all, there's the header with my name, and then I put the education where like my 10th, 12th, and graduation. These three things I mentioned. After that, um, I think I mentioned like the internships. So for the internships, I like I put PwC and all that, and you have to like put a short description, but the description should be short, but it should also be like very articulate. So that was like that was another section, and after that, I put the extracurriculars and positions of responsibility. So in that, like you can put like any extracurricular activity that is of significance, and any positions of responsibility that you have undertaken in your college. For example, Like I was the startup activity coordinator at Institutions Innovation Council, so I put that and a couple of other positions. And lastly, if you have any certifications, you can also put that at the end of your resume. So that was basically all the sections like education, internships and work experience if you have work experience. And after that, extracurriculars and positions of responsibility, and then certifications.
ओके मैम, सो थैंक यू वेरी मच। आपने जो है बहुत एलेबरेटली एक्सप्लेन कर दिया कि इफ़ेक्टिव रिज्यूमे कैसे बनाना है। सो हम लोग वीडियो को कंक्लूड कर सकते हैं कि फाइनल टिप्स जो आप स्टूडेंट्स को देना चाहें, हमारे जो जूनियर्स हैं या जो भी व्यूअर्स इस वीडियो को देख रहे हैं उन्हें, और डूज़ एंड डोंट्स की बात करेंगे कि ड्यूरिंग प्लेसमेंट प्रोसीजर थोड़ी लैक ऑफ मोटिवेशन भी होती है, क्योंकि कई बार सिलेक्शन भी नहीं होता है, और स्टूडेंट्स का जो है जब होता है तो कभी कभी मल्टीपल कंपनीज़ में भी होता है। तो ड्यूरिंग प्लेसमेंट प्रोसीजर डूज़ एंड डोंट्स अगर बात करें तो हाउ टू स्टे मोटिवेटेड एंड क्या गलतियां जो कि है एक स्टूडेंट को नहीं करनी चाहिए, तो भी आप बता दें, और तब हम वीडियो को कंक्लूड कर सकते हैं।
So for the do's and don'ts, first of all, like the companies, I think, start coming from August or September. So, start preparing before that for at least like the aptitude test. You should start preparing before that, and after that, like a lot of the times the students sort of miss the deadlines in which they have to apply for certain companies. Like I've personally seen a lot of people do that and then they regret it later, right? So it is important to keep in mind the deadlines, and also like for the interviews, for the offline interviews especially, you should be dressed in formals. And in offline interviews, it is I think it's more difficult to create a good impression in offline interviews. Like I don't know, it is my take on it anyway. So like be at least be well dressed and like be confident in interviews. I would say that, and keep practicing for the technical tests, and I think you will get a good placement.
ओके मैम, सो थैंक यू वेरी मच। आपने जो डिटेल्स शेयर की आई होप कि स्टूडेंट्स के लिए बहुत ही हेल्पफुल होंगी। और टाटा कंसल्टिंग इंजीनियर्स की बात करें तो आफ्टर वीडियो असेसमेंट आपको मेल आती है, फिर आपको मेडिकल के लिए भी जाना पड़ता है, और उसमें कुछ कंडीशंस होती है, टर्म्स रहती है जो आपको सभी एक्सेप्ट करनी पड़ती हैं। और जैसे आप मेडिकल में फ़िट होने चाहिए, आफ्टर योर फाइनल मीन्स ग्रेजुएसन आपका कोई बैकलॉग नहीं होना चाहिए, तो उसके बाद आप जॉब ऑफ़र होती है। लेकिन इसमें प्रिपरेशन की जो स्ट्रैटेजीज़ है उसे आप फॉलो कर सकते हैं। एंड आई होप कि आपके लिए वीडियो हेल्पफुल हुआ हो। और अगर आपको कोई भी क्वेरी होती है तो आप कमेंट बॉक्स में पूछ सकते हैं, और मैम से जो है वो पूछ कर मैं आपके रिप्लाई देने की कोशिश करूँगा। सो अगेन कॉन्ग्रेचुलेसन्स मैम, एंड थैंक यू फॉर कमिंग ऑन आवर चैनल एंड गिविंग अस वेरी वैल्यूएबल टाइम फॉर इंटरव्यू, एंड थैंक you again, and have a good day.